Gaffer, thank you very much for joining us ahead of the game against Barnsley. I'll start by asking how the lads are holding up after another tough battle on Tuesday.
Yeah, everyone's fine. We had a very late return, so we were off the next day and then back in today, and everyone's come back in and good. Everyone's fine. We had a training session with outside with the players that needed that, and the others are in their kind of recovery, so they're all good.
Of course, the win brought even more club records, like most wins in a season. You've equalled highest ever points tally in a season. Are these things you like to communicate and celebrate with the squad?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the sort of information that will find its way back to them anyway through social media and stuff. Not that I would be on any of that, but I did acknowledge it with them to explain that that is something that you should be proud of, they should be proud of, because it's not an easy thing to do. As I keep telling them, it's 150 years this club's been in existence, and it's a big club, and to do something like that is special. So, but I quickly follow that up, reminding them that the pats on the back can sometimes cost you in football. So make sure that we don't get too comfortable with it, but you have to acknowledge it because it's a great achievement.
Absolutely. Of course, as for the game itself, you'd like to dominate every game you play, but when that doesn't quite happen, can you be really encouraged with the way that your side has found other ways to win?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was a scrappy game. We started very, very well, and then, they were obviously very aggressive, which I knew they would be, trying to press us. So we tried to eliminate that and attack the space behind as much as possible. They were then being very, very direct with their style, and it became really scrappy. And it was one of those games. I think second half we got a bit more control there, fatigued a little bit. But you do get games like that, and I say the word winning mentality is it's a bit vague to say something like that. But what that is a sort of a belief within our team that we can do it, and late on we can grind it out and we can come up with that moment that we need and keep the back door shut. So that winning feeling, that winning mentality has been there, hence why we've achieved that sort of record. So I do have a feeling in a game that we just need that one moment, and thankfully we took it.
Another goal and another really impressive performance from Cashi out on the left. Have we really seen the best of him this season in your system?
Yeah, I think what I want. He's played on the right and the left, but settled on the left as the season's gone on. That left winger in the system that we've played predominantly is holding a lot of width. Disciplined in their position, having to be patient, not just chasing after the ball, and really being dangerous with the runs without the ball and the 1v1s with it. So I think he's done both of those things well. He's arrived, scored, created. His goal contributions per 90 minutes is in our top 2, I think, players. So he's been outstanding, and someone that I saw quite early in pre-season. I like the look of him because he does the ugly side of the game really well. The tracking back, the defending, the working for the team, and you just wouldn't play in this team, or no one's going to play in this team if they don't do that. So he does that bit first, and then his outputs have been really good.
It was also really good to see Peg Sung-ho back so quickly after he picked up that little knock on international duty with South Korea. Will he still be on limited minutes on Saturday, or could we maybe see a start?
Yeah, I think that was his sort of re-entry, if you like, with that first 40-odd minutes that he played. But no, I don't think there's any restriction on minutes. Obviously, we'll see how everyone is in the next couple of days and what we need for this next game. But yeah, it's obviously again a key player for us who came on and affected the game well.
Of course, Emil Hansen was missing from the squad on Tuesday. Was that due to an injury he picked up?
Yeah, frustratingly for Emil and us, he picked up a bit of a knock in training the day before the game. So that is a little bit disappointing, and it's not a season ender. It's a few weeks maximum. So we'll have to see how he goes in the next few days.
Just finally on injury news, how are Chris Bielik and Taylor Gardner-Hickman holding up, and when could we be likely to see them?
So Taylor's close to training with the team again. I think that's scheduled for sort of early next week, so he's pretty much there, more or less, but then you need to build up again. And then Chris has just been managing something that's a bit of a niggle that he's been dealing with. So again, it's nothing major, just something that we're working with him on.
As for Barnsley, of course, they've certainly had a bit of a tough run of results recently, but still a side, would you say, with a lot of quality?
Definitely. I think they would have had ambitions to be top 6 clearly at the start. Looking at their squad and everything, I thought they'd be in and around that. They still are. I mean, they've still got a chance, obviously, to get in the playoffs. And they have power, strength, a little bit of quality, good on set pieces. One of the better teams in the league. Their away form, I think they're the best, level with us and Wickham with 10 wins. So they're obviously strong away from home. So yeah, I'm expecting a tough match.
Yeah, it's hard not to think back to the game at Oakwell back near Christmas when your side came out on top. Are you expecting a similar intensity to the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean that day that was the storm that day, and it was a ridiculous game of football in the sense that you just couldn't even pass the ball. It was all over the place. But I love that game because it was one of my favourite wins of the season. The feeling after with the supporters and what we had to do to win it late on, having gone down in the game, was exceptional. So yeah, I'm expecting a similar type of game in the sense that I don't think they're going to be overly sort of building up from the back. It will be quite direct in their style, I would say, and a focus on set pieces. So we're going to have to overcome those challenges to win the match.
Yeah, you touched on it there. That was another game where you've scored quite late on, and you've won a lot of games from doing that this season. What do you put that down to?
I don't know. I mean, I think I always hope that we've got the impact from the bench to finish games strong. You know, try to make the point to players that, you know, the first 10 minutes of the game is no more important than the last 10 minutes of a game. So if you're starting or you're coming on, you're still really important. And the subs have given us that impact, I think, when they have came on. And with fitness, I think, is important as well. You know, we obviously train the boys really hard when we can. We play at a real intensity, and I'll put us up there as a fit, strong team at this level. So I think that helps us late on in games as well. And then obviously the mentality is probably the key thing. You know, they have a belief that they can do it. So, and all those things added together have culminated in some late wins.
Just finally, it's an exciting time for the club, of course. The Virtue Trophy final coming up. Last few games of the season, it would be easy for a player to get ahead of themselves a bit, but it feels like this group haven't allowed that to creep in.
No, because as I say to them all the time, the next game's the most important game. You focus on that game on that day, and then you go on the next day on your training, and the next day the next training, and whether you like it or not, that's as simple as it is. So anything after this weekend's game to me is not important. This is our cup final. The next game you play is your cup final, and all attention and focus needs to be on that.
Gaffer, thank you very much.
Thank you.